Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me looking at charts, having fun, like the one behind me, which is of AMC. And I am doing a power hour stream right now. It's about 1 minute after the hour, so about 59 minutes left of trading for the week, for the month, and for the day. And so, yeah, I just have AMC pulled up here. I do have a number of tickers that were requested either in the live chat here. So, hey, Nameless, what's up? And then also I do have a number that were requested via the Discord. And I can actually share, let's see, I can share the Discord link in the stream in the live chat if you guys are interested to join. It's free. It's just a bunch of people sharing ideas about trades. I don't always partake too much just because I'm either working or trying to put videos together, but it is a lot of fun and a lot of great ideas exchanged. There are good trades, whether in and out or longer term holds. And actually, I do want to pull up Pfizer because I saw you guys chatting about that. And so the Discord link, let's see, should be in the live chat. If anybody wants to join, you're welcome to. And yeah, I did just want to look over at the AMC and GameStop max pains for the week. AMC right around $4.20 over the past couple of weeks. I have been talking about price coming down to around current price, really just based on this purple downtrend. And I will do a follow-up video on AMC as well as GameStop after this stream. But, you know, I just find this exciting, and I also find it really interesting that I feel like, you know, the infighting is starting. People are starting to get pissed off and doubt, you know, the trade, that, you know, they missed the move here. But I think this is all just part of it, like getting people to lose faith in their position and to doubt it. I think that's all part of it, and I think in the coming weeks we will see AMC and GameStop rise again. And so I'm just going to switch over to max pain over here for AMC closing the month, and the max pain is $4.50. So we may be closing below max pain for AMC, which is unfortunate. For GameStop for the same date today, May 31st. We can see that the max pain is $21 a share. And what is, I just got to switch over to Webull. What is, so, I mean, I think that this could be the beginning of what happened last time. You know, maybe I should put a tinfoil hat on for this or something. But, you know, when we closed here on the 3rd, above $16 a share, max pain was $11 a share. And I think that, you know, it took a week for it to kind of build up and explode. And I think that we may be seeing that in the coming weeks with GameStop closing likely at least $2 above the max pain for the week, which is $21 a share. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'll be doing videos on GameStop and AMC, like I said, after the stream. And yeah, I mean, I've been trying to add as much as I can, you know, at the bottom here, but also, you know, I get paid every other Friday. I get paid next Friday. So I'm not trying to be too crazy, but also recognizing that, you know, I don't think that this dip will be lasting much longer, maybe another week more. At least that's what I'm hoping for. But anyways, I will get on to some of the requests. I'm going to go over some of the ones that Nameless requested because they're in the chat. And then anybody who's here from the Discord, if you just let me know which ones that you did request, I'll go over them, but I do plan on going over all of those tickers. And I do just want to add Pfizer because I saw you guys mentioning that. But yeah, I'll go over PAR first since it's the first one in the live chat. So PAR Technology dropping almost 6% so far on the day. And, you know, and I'm looking at this on the daily time frame. I will switch over to the shorter time frames, but just to kind of get an idea of, you know, what's going on bigger picture, and then we can look at the more shorter term stuff. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that rejection kind of makes sense, also kind of being like a double or triple top here. And I'm not really sure what the news will be on, but like the trading day is not over, but the volume does look like, even though it's a pretty massive move down, volume does look like it's come down a little bit. So maybe the bottom's not in just yet, but it could be potentially. in the next couple trading days. So I'm just going to do a retracement. I'm going to do these all just approximate because I spend too much time making things perfect. But that's a 50% retracement right now. The golden pocket here is a range between 42 to 42.42. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see this continuing down more with volume settling out a little bit more. And let's see, if price does come down to that 618 or 65% retracement, it's the golden pocket, we would be seeing higher lows in the stock price. Whereas if it did continue to come down, I would imagine the RSI would cross below the low that was here, 43.46. And so then we'd see higher lows in the stock price, lower lows in the RSI, and that is hidden bullish divergence. And so I could see right around $42, $42.50 being a good, begin to establish position level with the possibility of it coming down to the 786. And then, I think maybe a stop loss level would be the low here, which is 37.74, because if you do put in a lower low, that does suggest that it's more bearish. Whereas if you're putting in higher lows, that could be kind of like stair-stepping your way up, which is like the Elliott wave I went over in, I believe, Sunday's stream. It's pretty cool. I really liked I really like that analysis. I like the technical pattern there. And so, yeah, let's see. And I'll switch over to maybe the hourly. Let's see if I throw the volume profile. Yeah, I mean, I could adjust this time frame, but it looks like, current price is below this shelf here. And that is going to be like the, I'm just going to pull up what the meaning of that is. I believe that is the point of control. And then there's the volume average high, volume average low. And so the point of control, we're below that now. And so that makes me think it's going to continue lower. And then we see this volume shelf here at the golden pocket that could potentially be acting as support. But if it breaks lower, the volume average low is like exactly at the 786, $40.35. So I think those are two levels to be averaging into, with the brace for if it does break 37.74, which is technically the level, the low there. I think that's a good way to think about that. So that's how I would approach it. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm just going to remove the volume profile there, and I'm going to make sure this is on the DGen Ed list. Yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. And then, what's up, everybody? Vincent, RW, Trey K, everybody from the Discord. And so I will go over one from the Discord. I know that ASTS was requested. And yeah, this is, off the map for me, what I had gone over before. So congrats to whoever was holding this. I wasn't paying attention at all. 69% on the 29th, which was Wednesday. And yeah, I feel like there's one, maybe, I think Sobr, that looks like there's a gap above, and maybe there could be a gap fill, a violent move to the upside. But yeah, so I think this is a really cool, let's see, this is like an Elliott wave. I'm actually going to pull that up just so we can have like the little graphic. I'm just going to search it. Let's see, Elliott wave theory. Okay, so there's just this nice graphic here that, it's basically just up and down. And there are also some rules with it here. I'm just going to close these videos. It's one thing I don't like about Investopedia. There are just so many ads on it. But yeah, there's this this is, I guess, really the nice graphic. And so with this, with ASTS, this is like wave 1, wave 2 came down to the 50% level. And then if I do another retracement up to this high, basically, one of the rules, wave 3 and wave 4, let's see, wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave of the 3 impulse waves. And so right now, This wave is up 362. This wave is up over $5. So yeah, this is not the shortest one, so it's totally valid there. But then wave 4 does not overlap with price territory of wave 1. And so we don't want price to be coming back to 577. And so if price pulls back to like the 382, right around 735, or the 50% level at 670, those could be really good dip buying opportunities for the next level or wave higher. If this does not pull back to where wave 1 topped out at, we could be seeing another leg up to the fifth wave, but then that could be the beginning of the formation of basically a head and shoulders pattern that would then be suggesting the top is in. And so if we do, this is something that I just learned from Colin Gladman's video that he did on GameStop that also included AMC. And so one thing that we can do is just do this extension coming down to here. And let's see, price went up to, it didn't, let's see, didn't get up to the 1618, but it got pretty close. And so really between the 100% and the 1618. So from that, and that did a retracement to the 50%. So let's just do, work with the assumption and actually, let's work with the assumption that this is going to do the same thing going up here and then pulling back to the 50%. And since, based on this depiction, the next wave is likely to not be larger than wave 3, I think it's fair to assume that this will likely not be going to the 1618, maybe getting to the 100%. And so with that being said, maybe $11 would be a good next level to trim, or maybe 12. But I would think 12 is kind of like a good level to prepare for it to start topping out at. If we look at the volume here, let's see, volume higher on this big green candle day and starting to taper out as it consolidates. Volume high here on this 69% day, starting to taper out here as it consolidates. So I do think that, whether it pulls back to 735, 670, or, even like 840, there's still, just from like current price, if that were to go up to, let's say, worst case scenario of this going higher, getting to the 786 from that Fibonacci extension is over 30% swing to the upside, getting to right around $11 a share. So, I feel like that's a pretty compelling swing trade. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like the Elliott wave stuff. And let's see, RSI is still, let's see. I guess one thing that's concerning about it though is this is a higher high, but the RSI has put in a lower high, or is it really? No, it's about the same. So I don't think you can, it's starting to show weak bearish divergence. But I would think that if there is another leg up, that would really be the top. And then that would be really like, this playing out perfectly to this schematic. And so, yeah, I could see price for ASTS going to $11 a share, maybe 12, but at that point, I think it's getting risky. So I think it's really cool. And I could switch over to the hourly time frame, but, my approach to this is really just like looking at the daily candles. So 8 to 11 or 12 seems like a good trade to me. I am for the most part, I'm not going to be involved in any of these tickers. I do have a pretty large position in AMC and I have a small position in GameStop. But other than that, I'm not really participating in any of these, but they're all fun to go over. And let's see. Also take a look at Intel. Yeah, I can definitely do that, RW. Let's see. Intel. INTC, right? And so, yeah, I think this looks really cool. I will probably not FOMO into it or anything, but I think it'd be cool to maybe buy one share and see what happens. And actually, Yeah, I might have to check my phone in a minute to see because with the trading ending. Yeah, and like Kevin says, smash the like. Hey Ben, what's up? How's it going? Um, yeah, I'm happy to go over all these tickers. I feel yeah, I mean I like so I've taken this week off of work and I've just been like doing work around the house and I've been kind of like enjoying winding down a little bit on the channel for the close of the month. Basically, YouTube, once you make, you don't get paid unless you make $100. And so I've been barely meeting that threshold the past couple months. But this month, I crossed that threshold largely because of how well the AMC videos have been performing. And so, like, I kind of also, I'm enjoying taking a little bit of a break from the channel because now that May's basically over, can start cranking out more content in June and then to get up to that threshold. So yeah, I mean, it's trying to keep things in a healthy balance. Oh yeah, so I think it's funny too. I don't really know any of your guys' names, so I always just say what your guys' handles are. RW is ramen. What's up? Um, and let's see, and I will look at MU as well. And then I will look back over, I think, Nameless. Do you want me to look at Path or Fastly first? And I will also pull up Blink, of course, Benjamin. I don't know if you go by Benjamin or Ben. Let's see, Blink. And so I will just start with, because Path was listed first, I'll do Path. And then I could probably go over Fastly pretty quick because I've looked at that a number of times. So Path, your wow, gap down. Yeah, so this reminds me of, let's see, American Airlines. I bought a call, an in-the-money call that expires, like the monthly options in July. And I feel like really good about that. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. And so that's because there was a big gap down, but it came into support. And so, these purple lines here, I used to chart stuff a while ago. But let's see. I'm just going to clear all of this stuff. All right. And why is not all of this stuff cleared? I'm probably going to switch over to TradingView at some point because I just find it to be a better platform for charting. And but yeah, I haven't really made the transition yet. Well, let's see. Maybe if I step out on the weekly, let's see, maybe I could do fib extension from here down to here. That's approximate 2787. Okay, so maybe that's helpful, maybe that's not. I could probably do like a regular one here and see if, yeah, I didn't think so. Maybe the 786 is something. Maybe price wants to get back to around 14. I think 14 is going to be a pretty important level to reclaim. We look at the volume profile. There's a little bit of a volume shelf here. It's like 13. And yeah, this is like the volume averaged low at 1127. Low today was 1196. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could see price coming down a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, with this big move, so on the day, man, yes, I'm looking at this on the weekly. Let's see. Yeah, so today it was pretty much flat, but yesterday, massive move to the downside. Maybe this is potentially finding a bottom because we see, the drop yesterday down 34% with that big gap. And then today it's consolidating right around there. And we didn't even see a wick lower than yesterday's low at 1171. So I think that's good. And the other thing too, massive volume, 86.6 million shares yesterday. And today, 25 million thus far. And so I think that could be suggesting that it's finding a bottom here. And so maybe $12 is support. And coming back to this, yeah, and yeah, so I mean, I could see it being right around support, but maybe it would be dipping down to 11.50, 11.25, or maybe even $11 a share. And then I would think that like 10.40, sucks to do this, but I like, and I feel like when I do stop losses, which I don't have enough practice with, it tends to be like trimming at the bottom. But I think if it does break lower than 10.40, then it's like, who knows how low it's going to go. Maybe it comes down to the 1618 here at 864. And so then that's removing yourself from taking further losses. So yeah, I mean, I could see like with volume being lower today, looking like it's holding support. Let's see, yesterday's close was at 1207. Especially if it closes today above 1207, I think that it could be finding a bottom, and then their levels lower than current price to get average lower. But then if dropping below 1040, pull the plug, who knows how much lower it's going to go at that point. Maybe it's a fake out though below 1040, but that's at least like, like the eject level. So yeah, cool chart. I think that, yeah. And one of the things that's nice too is like a 35% drop, but then going up to fill that, it's going to be like a 50% swing. So, and I don't know why it happened. I guess because of earnings. It looks like cut to $19 a share from 30, but still up. So yeah, cool trade. And let's see. I'm just catching up on FSLY. Just lost a class action. So, okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll pull up FSLY, go over that. This is another one. Ooh, broken down. And this, let's see. So that line at 783 does correspond with the low here. So that's a level we don't want to get a close below. And so if there is a close below that level, I mean, maybe it's a fake out. I'm not the best at that. But that would suggest, especially like yesterday's low, 782, that suggests to me that price is going to continue going down. But yeah, I mean, if they just lost a class action lawsuit and or they just had one filed against them, that and like price today is down 0.5%. Price yesterday is down 2%. That's nothing crazy. If they're getting bad news and price is like less than 5% down, that could suggest the bottom's in. And maybe this is a double bottom. And also too, let's see, like volume, when there was this big drop, 32% drop, let's see, a lot of volume, but then it's just been kind of consolidating around here. It has broken these levels. I mean, if it closes above 783, I think that's good. If it closes below 782, I think it's going lower, potentially to, let's see, 715. Why do I have that level marked? As the low over here. And so that would be, I mean, maybe there's a double bottom at 715 if it closes below 782. So that's what I would look for. Although I do appreciate that it's like appealing, getting back to fill this gap here, 60%. There's an ad coming up. I'm going to skip it so you guys don't have to see that. And let's see, 60%. Yeah, so, but then if it does continue lower to like the 715, then that's a 75% swing to the upside versus 60. Yeah, so not looking too great, but let's see. I mean, this did hit a lower low than over here with that 782. RSI is a higher low. That's bullish divergence. Who knows though, this RSI and price could still continue lower. And so maybe the Monday we'd see a bounce maybe up to 828. So something to keep in mind there. And then, yeah, I'll definitely throw up NIO as well. And I'm going to start deleting some of the ones that I've gone over just because this is getting a little cluttered. But yeah, ASTS, I think this one looks really cool. I'm excited about that. I'm not in it, but I'm intrigued by it. Let's see. And then also it went over FSLY, so I'll delete that. Path went over. And yeah, I mean, let me know which one I should go over from the Discord. And I might just, for my own curiosity, I did go over par as well. And I'm going to make sure. Yep, cool. Pfizer, just curious about this. Cool. Yeah, I have no idea where this could be going, but, if we do Fibonacci retracement, that pulled back to the 382, and then, oops, I feel like I could probably do this more efficiently, but now I know. I don't know. And then so, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, why do I have 3150 marked? But yeah, if that goes up to, it could be going up to 3250. Why do I have those levels marked? From over here, apparently. Yeah, 3150 that I had marked, if that's significant, that corresponds to the 786 here from that fib extension. And yeah, so I know, but you guys were talking about long-term holdings, so I think that's pretty good. This definitely seems like a good one to be holding long-term, and especially after 2450. Yeah, I could probably, I don't like having all these old lines. I'm going to switch over to the weekly and see. Yeah, there's got to be like a trend line. I'm going to delete this stuff so it's not so cluttered. Man. Yeah, let's see. Trend line from here to here. Yeah, so maybe it could be pulling back to test that, or maybe it already has. This is on the weekly. Seeing how well these lines connect with their points. Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's looking good. Maybe it'd come down to this level, but test that. Yeah, cool. And so I'm pretty sure I don't have it on the DGenEd list. Oh, man. And cool. And okay, so Ramen is requesting Intel. And so, yeah, it looks like this is at the 786 from this big move up, I imagine. 5092. And 2354. Yeah, I feel like this could be putting in like a double bottom. And yeah, so pull back to there, and there should be a lot of support under current price. Yeah, so the 786 is at like 29.41, a little bit lower than current price, but let's see, just looking at it like this. I wonder, yeah. Yeah, I think this is really neat. So I'm just like learning about this extension and stuff. But so, I have like the move up here, and then the 786 matches perfectly with the top over here because this was a 786 retracement. And so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I could see it like bumping into some resistance around like $40 because of all this consolidation here. And yeah, and then there's this gap fill. So, I mean, I feel like it's a pretty good time to establish, I don't know, like levels to the downside. I guess, right, 28.30 or so. That's like the volume average low. So maybe that could be a level to add at or to pull the plug if it goes south. But yeah. Forever locked in, requesting the SPY. So yeah, so hopefully this is helpful with Intel. I think that it looks like, I mean, it's been respecting the 786 and it's potentially putting in a double bottom. So I think that looks pretty good. And so rather than just jump into all of the new requests, I'm going to scroll up to make sure I'm catching the ones that I missed. So I see MU. This is a semiconductor, right? Yeah, so I think, so let's see. I think I probably have this on the semiconductor list. Yeah. And so one thing that, let's see. Let's look at SMH. Yeah, so I think that tops may be in. I really don't know because I just keep adding to my SOXS position. And yeah, I think I add it, like I do like one share a week at most usually, unless I have a bunch on the money on the side. But I think I added a little bit maybe on like Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, I mean, like I don't want to be chasing it because maybe this pulls back. And so if this pulls back, that would mean that semiconductors are going higher. And so with this one, yeah, I mean, we could, let's see. I don't know how useful this will be. Like right here where there are these like 4 candles, really like 5 here that all overlap. I think that there'd be some support found there, like right around 120 or 121, maybe a little bit lower. And then maybe there could be another bounce, but I think that would be like this fading. We throw up the volume profile. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's gotten a bounce right around there. And so maybe it goes up, but can't make it past 127 and then like rolls over. But yeah, I would think this is coming down. But I'm biased with semiconductors. But yeah. But yeah, and then let's see, like with this higher high being put in, RSI is clearly it's a lower high. And so that's bearish divergence. Maybe that suggests the pullback that we've already seen. But I would think that that represents more of a pullback than what was seen here, coming down to low of 106 around there. So yeah, I mean, I could see this coming down more, maybe to fill this gap at like 97. And that would correspond with maybe retesting the 382 from this retracement up, or the 1618 coming down from that extension. And so I could see the bottom or a bounce around there, but there might be a short-term bounce. But maybe we're seeing that switching over to the hourly time frame, seeing a little bounce here. But yeah, it's like coming down, seeing a bounce, coming down, seeing a bounce. And so, yeah, I think that it could be filling this gap. And also, yeah, like look at the tops over here too. With that gap fill, there's all this consolidation here. So I think that probably act as support. So I think that this will probably continue down to around maybe 115 or the 786 here, 114. Or dipping below that a little bit, maybe getting to like 111, possible. But yeah, cool. And so I'm going to switch back to the request list. You got about 24 minutes left before the market closes. Just going to remove Intel and Micron. And so I'll just scroll through the requests. And let's see. Let's see. So Blink, I will do that. Sorry to keep you waiting, Ben. All right. So I'm just going to delete these retracements just so I can start fresh. Yeah, I mean, so the thing that's not so great about this is that like there's this big move up and then a pullback, which looks good. But then for this next leg up, it didn't really go that far. And it's pulled back to overlapping with this prior run up. And so if like I flip over to this is Elliott waves, we can see that, you know, there's this wave 1 and then a pullback, so wave 2. And so we saw that here. But then wave 3, it needs to be like a pretty big wave. And the pullback needs to not overlap with the top of wave 1. So wave 2 can't retrace more than the beginning of wave 1. So, I mean, we see that here, so that checks the box. And then wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave of the 3 impulse waves. And so right now, I mean, this is the next wave up could be shorter than this. But given that this is already much shorter than this one, it's not looking too great. And then like wave 4 does not overlap with price territory of wave 1. It already does. And then wave 5 needs to end with momentum divergence. And so I feel like maybe there could be another move up, but maybe it'd be putting in a double top around 350. But like based on that Elliott wave theory, which I'm new to, but I find it really interesting and useful. I mean, and also too, I mean, 350 right here, there are both of these like tops right around 350. And so that's like a double top and then a pullback. And this got rejected again from 350. And so that makes me think that this is likely not going much higher. And maybe it will be testing this purple uptrend. And so let's see. I don't know how I want to do this. So like this to here and then down to here. And so that moved up to the 618 and pulled back to, actually, I'm going to do a regular, let's see here. So yeah, that went up almost to the 1618 there. And then with that, this should suggest levels where I'd be pulling back to. Pull back to the golden pocket, so I think that's pretty good that it's held that. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see this making another move higher, but I don't think it would be like an insane move. I'd think that, yeah, cause like take this extension from just being approximate, doing it from today's low. I mean, if it broke higher than this, like 352, that would be really good. But I could, yeah. I mean, just thinking about how it's traded, I think it's good that it's held the golden pocket, which is really just like right around $3. And so, yeah, I mean, maybe it'd get past 350, but I don't think that it'd be doing anything too crazy. Like, I don't think it'd be going up to $4 because it's just been rejected from here too many times. And let's see. Yeah, so this makes me think maybe it'll move up to 350 again, get rejected around there, and then come back to test the purple uptrend, hold that as support, and then I think it'd probably have enough power to get past 350. So I feel like since it hasn't been able to push much higher than those levels, it might be making a final attempt, but then get rejected is what I think. But could be wrong about that. And I'm actually going to check some stuff on my phone. I had heard a couple beeps, so I think I had some covered calls I was trying to sell that they just got canceled. Yeah. So that's fine. One thing I'm excited about is the American Airlines call that I got. I think I'll make money with that. And yeah. And so let's see, what are other ones? Okay, so I see NIO. I've gone over fast. Yep. So I'll do NIO next. I am stoked about NIO, I have to say. I wanted to be getting more here, but in all honesty, I've just been throwing a lot at AMC and experimenting with buying in the money calls, which I have one on AMC, which expires June 20th with a strike of $3 a share. I paid $190 for it, one call. And so I think I can double that at least. And then I basically did the same thing with American Airlines. And yeah, so anyways, I'll talk about NIO. So like this says, yeah, I mean, bounce off of this level. I think it's looking really good. I mean, yeah, so it's like big up move, volumes higher, price is still trading around there, but volumes lower. So it's like holding that even with low volume. So I think that suggests that it'll probably be going higher. And so, yeah, and this has also been pointed out by me, by others, inverse head and shoulders pattern with this right shoulder being kind of ugly because of this bit here. But I could see that coming back up there and still, really, I mean, it's kind of like a double shoulder, head, double shoulder. And so, yeah, I think that this is probably breaking above 6. My average is below 6. I think it's like around 550. And so, I mean, I'm biased with it. But I feel like this is an easy one to be accumulating because it's just been so beaten down. And just like, yeah, I mean, even if it gets up to $9 a share at this point, it's still in this wedge. And so it's like $9 from current price. That's, let's see. I'm not good at the math. 65% move to the upside. But yeah, and let's see. Yeah, I mean, this put in like a double top here. So I think like $6 is going to be tough to break. Maybe though, with earnings coming up, I will probably stream NIO earnings, which will probably be painful because there's so much translation for the, I did a NIO earnings call before, and it can be such a drag because you're just waiting for all these translations. But I'll probably stream that because I like NIO, and I should be paying attention. But I feel like this could be lined up, this earnings call, with this breaking above $6 a share. That's just what it looks like to me. I don't have any calls on it, nothing like that. But I think that this earnings call could be lined up for a breakout of $6 a share. Because in order to get above $6 a share, like even from over here, this hit a high of, let's see, 634. I mean, it's just been getting in lower highs constantly, this downtrend. There needs to be something to ignite it to get above $6 a share. That's earnings coming up. I think that this is going to break above 6, maybe get to 7. I don't have any calls on NIO, but it's intriguing. And then, Trey K saying, covered calls, nice. I have been on GPT-4 all day today learning about options. Cool, yeah. Options are really cool, and for me, I've gotten used to selling covered calls for the bags that I hold, whether it's AMC, GameStop, Biora Therapeutics, ChargePoint, and Luminar. I sell covered calls on those all the time, but it can get me into trouble occasionally. I remember when GameStop closed above $16 a share, because usually I stagger my covered calls so I don't have them all at the same strike. But I was just thinking, it's not going above 16. The max pain is 11. And then that Friday, it closed 47 cents above the strike. And so that sucked. And, I'd be up a lot more had I not had those covered calls be assigned. But, that's part of trading, learning lessons from mistakes. I still have a small GME position, and I look to add more basically after today, because then my wash sale window ends. And so that's the way that you recognize that is, so this was Friday on the 3rd, and so my shares got assigned. I need to wait 30 days. And so today, it's 28 days. And so if I were to buy some GameStop right now, I'd have a wash sale. I wouldn't get the benefit of selling at a loss. And then if I wait until Monday, that's 31 days. And then I can start reaccumulating. I think my average is around 21. And so if it dips below 21, I'll add more. If it doesn't, I'm just going to be loading into AMC more because my average is 12 over there. So, Sunlight is saying next Tuesday delivery of 5,000 may trigger NIO to break 550 to 6. Yeah, I mean, I think that things are lined up for NIO. I think that, and also too, I mean, look at this. What is this pattern we see here? Big move up, consolidation, holding this downtrend as support. That's a bull flag. Man, if there's an ad that just got inserted, sorry, I didn't catch it. But this is a bull flag right before earnings. And I mean, man, God. Okay, so their earnings are coming up. I can stream their earnings. I can also stream ChargePoint's earnings next week. And so, man, I'm going to look at the options table. And one thing that I've been realizing is that, whenever I do out of the money options, I end up losing money because they end up expiring worthless, and I don't cut my losses soon enough, or I don't take profit soon enough. And so what I've done with AMC and American Airlines is I've done in the money calls. So the premium's a lot more for me to get the contract, but it's basically I spent less than $200 on a contract for AMC that expires June 21st with a strike of $3 a share. Max pain for AMC is at a minimum $4 a share. And so I feel pretty confident that it will not be closing on June 21st below $3 a share. And while I'd much rather get 100 shares at $4.20, I'd be fine getting 100 shares at $5. And so with the premium of $1.90 and the strike of $3, I'd be fine to exercise that call if it does close in the money and I don't take profits. But what I think could happen is I think that price could go potentially up to like $12 a share again. And so if that's like I put down $200 and if it goes up to 12, that's like $1,000 more. That's a $10. That's like a $9 difference between 12 and $3, the mac or the strike. And so it's like $900. And so I could turn that 190 into 900 effectively if price does go up to 12 again. And then it's like, cool, yeah, I'll take that. That's like more than 4xing. So that's what I'd like to see happen, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't close below $3 a share. I'd be out $200, but I've seen worse. Got 9 minutes left in the day. Let's see. And so I'm learning now about in the money and out of the money. I think next week I'm going to YOLO some ODTE calls that are in the money. ODTE, or zero DTE. I don't know what that is. And since I just sit here and watch the screen anyways, I think I can make that work. Yeah, and so for me, I don't really do short-term calls or any like I sell covered calls because like on the weekly time frame, because like for AMC, I sold a number of covered calls this week ranging from I have shares in Webull and Robinhood. My average in Webull is around 12. My average in Robinhood's around 8. And so I basically sold covered calls ranging from like 8 up to 22. And they're all closing out of the money. So I just made a little bit of money on those. But if this were to squeeze up, which I don't think will happen until either next Friday or the Friday after, I don't want to be selling shares even at $8 a share, even if I'm making in profit on those. I'd rather sell higher or just hold. And let's see. Oh, 0 days till expiration. Yeah, so that's definitely. I don't typically do that, and there's something term for that on. I think Wall Street Bets, which is like Rainbow Bear or something like that, where it's basically like you're getting screwed because like out of the money with zero, very short before the expiration. So yeah, I think there's a way to do that and be really good at it, but you have to be like on top of the trade, or like what I'm doing with AMC, or I'm just going to pull up American Airlines because I think it's like it's not an exciting ticker as far as views go, but yeah, I mean it pulled back to fill these gaps. Basically, this gap would be like a proper fill based on the close from November 1st. Would be 1114. Also, there's this yellow uptrend, which goes back to like 2020. Let's see, or maybe even, I think it goes back before then. It goes back to like 2008, I think. Yeah, 2008. Look at all this support throughout time. And yeah, just hold on a second. Yeah, and this is like 2020 lows there. And yeah, we're back at that level. These gaps are being filled. And so I feel pretty confident that this will fill this gap. And so my strike, let's see, for expiration in, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. It's easier for me to see it. Is $10. Like, I mean, it's above $10 right now. It's an in the money call. I think that this could be going back to, this is going up $2, so that's basically increasing the price of that contract by $200 because it's 100 shares. So I risked $190. It'd have to break below this trend line. I mean, and even like this is a double bottom here at 1086. If it hits that, I don't think it's going to $10 a share. So I feel pretty good about that, and I do think that it could be filling this gap. Maybe it expires. Maybe it doesn't go up that much in value. And so maybe that's a predicament for me. Then I'd have to buy put $1,000 into American at $10 a share. Maybe that's something that I do though at that time. But yeah, and that's actually like this was mentioned in the Discord about the possibility of just doing like day trading. Like I could stream day trade, we can all chat. And so if you guys are interested in that, I'm down. I don't have much on the side to be participating in day trading until not next week, but the week after, because I get paid next Friday. And so I'd set some like $200 to $500 aside, probably $500 to just see where that goes from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And I think that could be really fun. And even if I lose all of that, no big deal. And we could partake in some trades via the chat, because you guys do make a lot of good suggestions. And you guys have talked about Forward. This one, this is the one I was thinking about that has this gap up here. It just seems like it's getting rejected a little bit. I could see this pulling back to, I was going to say something in the chat, but I didn't want to be like a negative Nancy. But I could see this pulling back to like 15. We throw up the volume profile. This is like point of control right there at 1434. It does look like it's getting rejected here, and I could see it pulling back, finding support there, and then launching up to fill this gap. And so let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, like this is like, let's say assuming that the top is in and then it pulls back to that point of control, it could be going up to, like $21 and coming back to like 14.35. That's, almost 50% swing. So this is one that I'd be interested in potentially for, I don't know if it'd be for the day trade, but if this were to pull back to like $15 to $14, like right here, that's the base of this volume shelf, $14. I could see that as being a really nice trade. But I mean, it looks like it's putting in a double top here. Price is getting up to that level. But like you saw big volume on this big green candle here that went up. Actually, it was a down day, negative 22% because of this gap down. And then you see big volume here when it's starting to form a bottom. About 3 minutes left in trading for the day. This goes up and, it's double top right here. And so volume is not enough to push it higher there. It's getting rejected. I think it's pulling back to $14, $15. Let's just do a regular fib retracement going from the low here to the high. Golden pocket is just below there, like 1360 to 1382. And so I could see this pulling back to, like ranging from, let's say 1350 to 1460, wide range there. And then that moving higher. So that's what I see with Forward. I don't know what this is. It's associated with American Eagle. Is that right? But I think that this could be pulling back. So that's what I would do. I don't have a position in it, but it's intriguing looking at that. And let's see, SMX. I know you guys, this one I think is super cool. Just respecting this uptrend, did get a break below it. But right now, I mean, it's up less than 5% on the day. Volume's low while it's down here. And so I think it really just needs like a surge of volume and there could be another big move to the upside. So I think this one looks really good, SMX. And we got about 1 minute left. And so let's see, I'm just going to look at the clock on my phone, 30 seconds left. I will switch over to the 1 minute time frame and because I'm selfish, going to watch AMC 434. Man, I'm stoked about AMC. I'm really excited to do the video because it did dip to 420, which I thought it might. And I think that the bottom is right around the corner. AMC is closing below max pain today, which if we do flip over to the max pain here, it's 450. We got about 5 seconds left. We're closing here below max pain with AMC. But if we look over at GameStop, closing at $23.11 for the week, the day, the month, all of that, $23.11. And what is the max pain for GameStop for today? I'm going to refresh this just in case it changed. Show you up here at 531 today. The max pain is $21. We closed above max pain for GameStop. I think that we might be seeing some violent moves to the upside next week. I wonder if Roaring Kitty will be posting anything this weekend. But if not, I think likely the week after, I think we're going to see some violent moves to the upside. So I'm really stoked about GameStop, AMC, all of these Plug Power. I think that we're going to see a lot of, hey, and don't let me influence you because AMC has been like a very tough thing to hold the past few years. But AMC and the community around it, for me, it's like I was getting ready to be like, I'm not good at trading. I'm going to give up. And then it's like, I'll just, I'm going to choose to have conviction in AMC. I'm going to choose to have conviction in the community, and I'm just going to hold. And, that's American Airlines. I held, and it taught me to, that's how you do it. I was in the green when it squeezed up before, and I haven't been in the green with AMC in years. And I think that this is just, and there are so many people. There's this guy, I think his name's like Volatility, and he like always bashes Mullen Automotive, which I can understand that. I'm not in Mullen, and I feel like it just seems like very sketchy. I mean, you could make the same argument about AMC or GameStop, but I think they're very different because they're very well-established companies. An EV startup is very risky. Doesn't matter who the CEO is, doesn't matter any of that stuff. But with AMC, with GameStop, this guy's been like not only trashing people on Mullen, but also AMC and GameStop. And I just view it that with AMC, and I'm going to do some really cool analysis inspired by Colin Gladman's video, because I have not gotten the same levels that he's gotten from this Fibonacci retracement, because this is on the linear y-axis and the linear Fibonacci retracement. And so if I adjust the y-axis here to be logarithmic, my Fibonacci is still, based on the low here to the high, evenly distributed levels based on, these percentages that are the Fibonacci levels. But when you do that in log space and adjust the Fibonacci retracement to be in log space, which you can't do in Webull, but you can in TradingView, basically like, if you do like 10% increments on a log scale, they're not going to be evenly distributed. But the way that the Fibonacci retracement is adjusted in log space, it makes it so those 10% increments are evenly spaced. And so that's kind of how I got like a conceptual understanding of how you get that, like adjusted Fibonacci levels when going from a low to a high, because it should be the same values, but it's because it's being adjusted to log space. And with that, you actually see that we haven't broken the 786. We're right around the golden pocket. And so I think that'll be a really cool video. I'm going to put that out after this stream. And I will also go over Sobr real quick. This one, I don't know. This, to me, this was like a clear buy the dip opportunity based on what's happened with some of these other ones like Lucy. Clear buy the dip opportunity. Now it's like, I don't know, getting into like more risky territory with a lot of these. But yeah, I'm probably going to end the stream to, I'm going to type up those so I can see what Eagle wrote. Oops, not up over here. Let's see. And then, what is the max pain, please? Okay, so max pain is, so I don't know how to calculate it. I just go to this website to look it up. And so it's like, these are, all the calls and puts that people have bought or sold, whatever, for this expiration date. And so the max pain is the maximum number of calls and puts that expire worthless. And so there's kind of like a fine-tuned balance between those two levels. And it's kind of like neutral between like bullish and bearish. If, like with GameStop, closed above $23 a share, that means that it closed in the favor of the bulls. And so that means that any of those call options that expired in the money, people might be exercising those. And then that means that market makers or those who sold covered calls, their shares get assigned. Market makers have to provide 100 shares to everybody who wants to exercise their calls. And then that can force like a gamma squeeze. And so maybe that happens because of GameStop closing above 21, but it's not like huge difference. Like about 4 weeks ago, it closed above 16 when the max pain was 11. And so that's just like a bunch of shares closing in the money that basically like market makers end up needing to buy hundreds of shares to be able to cover any calls that might be exercised. And so that just forces this like what's a gamma squeeze, which is not necessarily related to options, but it's when there is more bullish momentum than bearish momentum. And then if a lot of puts are closing in the money, I get kind of confused on how puts work exactly, because it's like I don't get why. I guess it's like, I'm saying like, I want to buy 100 GameStop shares, but only if it closes below $21 a share. And then, so it's like, I want to drive the price lower, and then you'd agree to buy them at that lower price. But then, whereas with calls, it's like if you have your have your strike at $21, and today it closed above 23, then you could then buy 100 shares at $21 or whatever your strike is. And so that ends up driving the price. That's exercising your call option, and that drives the price higher. So yeah, with GameStop closing above 21, more than $2. And if we look at the options table for GameStop for today, I have all of them listed here. So this is calls. Yep, only calls. And so for 21, let's see, the open interest, about 2 to 3,000, and like 20.5 and 20. So there's a lot of, so it ends up being like the average. So it's not necessarily that there's the maximum amount of open interest at $21 as the strike, but it's just that ends up being the average of all of the calls that are below here. These are in the money, and then all the ones that are out of the money. And so 23.50 closed below that. But if we look at the open interest here, yeah, it's like this is like why you don't want to be buying out of the money call options, or at least not holding them to expiration, because this is like 14,500 people or positions. I'm not sure how that's measured. I guess positions or I'm not sure really. But that amount of interest in it, there's a lot of interest at the 30 strike. They all closed worthless. And you're 11.75 at 40 strike. And 128. So this is people just going kind of crazy. Those all expired worthless. You can see expired worthless over here. And so, the green here is what you'd sell it at. Red is what you would buy it at. And and there's been a lot of talk, not for today, but for the 21st, that's the monthly. So you see these W's in parentheses. Those are weekly contracts. Every week, there are contracts with GameStop. Not all stocks have them. Most stocks, if they have options, they're monthly. So you don't see the W here. That's because it's monthly. And if we look at, I believe there's a lot of interest. Yeah, look at this. 144,000 at $20 strike. So that's just like, that's in the money. And there's a lot of interest there. That means that price is likely, that's just like really bullish. Even though it's in the money, that like price pulled back to $20 a share, that could then be like, let's say, GameStop, $23 a share, 23.11. I think that's worth it because of what we saw recently of this move up to $65 during market hours, 64.83. If I can buy 100 shares at $23 and it has the potential to get up to 65 or 80 like it did in the pre-market or after hours, I forget, then, buying 100 shares at 23 is definitely worth it. Or, I could buy a call with a $20 strike. That would mean I'd have to buy at $20 a share. As long as it closes above 20, I could exercise and buy there. But the premium that you'd have to pay for that is $565, 100 times whatever the ask price is. And that's because it's 100 shares per call option. And so that effectively put your price at $2,565 or 60. I guess it changed a little bit. So that's like, would you be willing to spend to buy 100 shares at $25.60, considering the fee of the contract, the premium, and what that strike would be? And a lot of people would be willing to buy 100 shares at $20, even considering this premium. And in all honesty, I would be too. And, you could be going even so what's the max pain? So this is like max pain, I think, is a really useful tool. GameStop for this week, 21, closed above it. And then we can look at, the following week. What's the max pain? 20. Maybe price dips lower. So that could suggest maybe there's a better time to be buying these, contracts. 20 again. And let's see, 20 for the 21st, max pain is still 20. And so that makes me think that maybe there will be a pullback in GameStop and there would be a better time to buy more $20 strike calls that expire on June 21st. But also, since we did close above max pain for today, maybe this is just going to continue. There's going to be an ad coming up. I'm going to skip it. So it all depends on if a call expires worthless, so that's closing below the strike price, then the amount that you paid to get that contract, you don't get any of that money back and you can't exercise the call. And so they're risky in that sense. But when you're buying in the money calls, which is something I'm fairly new to, I just kind of realized with AMC, I feel pretty confident it's not going to be below $3 a share by June 21st. And so, why do I feel pretty confident about that? Let's see. Let's throw out the volume profile. This volume is 329 to 285. So maybe it could, let's say this is, but actually June 21st. So if we're going to be respecting this purple downtrend, when is June 21st? So I'm just moving the cursor to around there. So this is June 21st right here. And that crosses that purple downtrend right around $3. So that is kind of risky. Maybe that options call that I have will expire worthless. I've risked $190 on it. But I feel all right with that because I think that we're kind of in this new phase with AMC, with GameStop, where things will be squeezing higher. And it's $190. I've lost more than that in the past. But I'm probably going to close this stream down and start working on the AMC and GameStop videos. And then after I put out those videos, then I'll add timestamps to this stream. But let's see. I'm just going to check. Right after close, someone buying 0.5 million NIO, very bullish. Yeah, I think that NIO, this is something, and Chris, I do see your comment. I'll pull up ASRT in just a second. But I just want to go over NIO. I'm very curious about the options. So let's see. They have, so the 6th is, so Monday's the 3rd. So it's Wednesday. Wait, 3rd, 4th. Oh, crap. So that's Yeah. So this could be like a 0 days to expiration call. I think this looks really good. What are the options for next week with NIO June 7th? 540, you could buy. This is like bad news for me because I'm like really, really intrigued by this. So I think NIO is going to go up following earnings. And so if I look at this, I mean, it just looks really bullish. Macro bull flag right here. It looks really good. Micro bull flag here. Starting to form, maybe, can't really say. But, with volume going up here, I guess maybe this big red day, so maybe not. But yeah, I mean, I just think that this looks really good. I mean, this is a double top, so it's not too surprising. I think it needs a boost to get above that. And so let's see. Yeah, I mean, God, this is like, I need to stop buying shares and I just need to do options that are in the money, because I think that, like, would I buy 100 shares of NIO at $5 a share? Yeah, I would. I think that's a good deal. And so what I could see here is that with earnings on Thursday and looking at the options table, I feel pretty good about NIO closing above $5 a share. And so then I could risk about $60, $59 here to buy a call, a long call that expires June 7th, so the day after earnings, with a strike of $5. So currently that's in the money. And if it does close at $5, then I could exercise it at $5 a share. And so then that would put my total $559. So my average would be $5.59. But if it squeezes $59, let's say it squeezes up to and beyond $6 a share, that'd put this $59 right around. So like, if this closes at $5 next Friday, this would basically not be worthless, but it would be like fair value. It would be like closing at $5. So the premium would be zero because it's worth $5 a share. So there's no difference there. But if it shot up to $6 a share, that's $1 higher, $1 per higher than this strike of $5. 100 shares, that's $100. So this $59 could get turned into $100. And so I feel like that's a pretty compelling swing. I'm really intrigued by that. I am going to note that because I will forget about it. NIO call 6, 7, $5 strike. I want to buy one of those for $60. And so I think that's worth it. I think that's a worthwhile gamble. And so maybe I'll be doing that on Monday. We'll see. And then before I continue to ramble more about that, reverse head and shoulders. Yeah, no, I definitely think reverse head and shoulders, reverse man and shoulders, same thing. Yeah, so I definitely think that this, but it's like gotten rejected up here. And so I think it's like there was an attempt to get above $6 here, but there just wasn't any news. There wasn't anything to push it higher than 6. And I feel like what we've seen here is bullish consolidation, a bull flag here. Man, I'm going to have to do a video on NIO. Oh my gosh, I'm just like too excited. I'm too excited about what's going on in the market. This is bad. But I think that earnings are going to push it above $6 a share. So those are my thoughts on NIO. And I'm just going to check on Chris's comment on ASRT, pure value play as well, 38% short with free cash flow. And they just got one of the best CEOs in the pharma industry. They are putting an end to opioids. So that's some great news. Assertio will change the pharma world. And so, yeah, I'll pull them up, which I assume is Assertio. I always have a hard time whenever there's a new pharmaceutical company. I always have so much there's one. Let's see. I'm just like, I have to pull it up. Let's see. Aquestive. It took me a while to figure out how to pronounce Aquestive, but now it's like so easy to pronounce. And so Assertio, and I'm going to add this to the DGen Ed list. And so this right around $1 a share, closing the month below $1 a share. So that's not so great. But let's see. Let's do a retracement. So this is from like 73.24 cents up to the high here, 125.25 cents. And so that's pulled back to the golden pocket. I think that this is a pretty good dip buying opportunity yesterday when it crossed below the 618, which is right around like 93 cents. The low yesterday on the 30th was 92.01 cents. And it looks like it's, struggling to get above $1. And so I think that makes sense, but it has retraced to this level. And also, also good to not just be thinking about Fibonacci levels by themselves, but how they relate to prior price action. And so just like the 65% level, and yeah, I mean, like really that whole golden pocket range, the 618 here does correspond with these highs over here. So there is some support there. If I throw up the volume profile, yeah, I mean, there's a volume shelf there. And so I do think that it could be in like dip buying range, but then maybe this dash line here, this green dash line, that corresponds with the volume average low. And so maybe that would be like if it does pull back to that level and or the 786 right around 85 cents, maybe that could be like, okay, I dip buy there, but if it breaks lower, maybe I'd pull the plug at like 73.24. Because then who knows, it's like uncharted territory breaking below that. But yeah, then there is this like volume shelf here, lots of consolidation from here. It's going to be tough to break above that. But maybe like the new CEO that they've got, maybe that's the news that'll be pushing it higher. Yep, up 6.5% on the day and about up 0.4% in the after hours, but really struggling to get above $1 a share. And really, I mean, just like barely being below it for a monthly close. So I don't think that looks too great, but I mean, it did respect the golden pocket, so maybe that's a nice dip buy there. But yeah, cool chart. And did buy, and Sun, I'm going to see what you are saying about, I did buy NIO $6 expiration for $6.14. So let's look, I'm going to look back over at NIO because like at the options. So 621, I think it's a really good idea to be doing like not like super immediate calls, especially when out of the money. And so like with NIO being below $6 a share, so that's like $28. I think that's like a pretty reasonable risk. Doing it at $5. I mean, I was saying that you could do $5 strike for the day after their earnings call, which would be June 7th. Let's see, yeah. So June 7th, $5 strike, that's like $60. Or you could do it June 21st, that's monthly, that's $70 to buy, and you'd have weeks more. And so if it goes up to $6, then that's like, okay, this 70 is then turned into 100. If it goes up to 650 or whatever it is, then yeah. So I think that's actually I think that's more intriguing. And so like doing it to June 7th, that's definitely like gambling, but doing it to June 21st in the money, $5 strike, that seems a much safer bet. If you wanted to go out of the money, which, then it's like, well, $28, maybe that's a better one. I'm going to have to think about it. What do I want to do? What's my risk profile, or tolerance, but yeah, that's, I'm excited about the NIO chart. And let's see, just going to type up so I can see everything Trey said. It is strange, your opinion, why did they wait until post-market? On the buy, yeah, so I don't see the buys. I think I have to pay for a little bit of something to see the trades that go on. And yeah, I mean, it's up 1% in the after hours. Never seen as much as 0.5 million and zero point 0.8 consecutive block trades. So yeah, I mean, I think it's like earnings are coming up, and just like forget about whether people are buying or anything like that. The chart looks bullish. It looks like it's a bull flag. It's respecting this downtrend. It's respected 478, which is this low here. It's respecting $5 a share. It's pulled back to the 50%, which, let's see, is this, I could actually adjust this to 605. And so, yeah, either way, I mean, that's respecting like, this is 483. And yeah, I think that it's just, it looks like it's ready to rip through $6 a share. And so I'm stoked about NIO. I'm going to have to make a video on it. I don't know if I'll get to the NIO video today because I do have to do AMC and GameStop first. And since the stream's gone on for an hour and 25 minutes, more than just power hour, I'm going to close the stream down. And if you guys do want to continue chatting and stuff, I'll add the link to the Discord again here. I'm just grabbing it from my phone and then pasting it to my computer. The magic. And you guys can continue the conversation in Discord if you like. And so when you move around NIO chart, I see high value average around 6. Let's see. Yeah, so this for like the volume profile, that's around 629. That goes up to 7 here. So if I like, that's really just like, I think it's just like it's bumped its head right around $6 many times. And so that's what this would be. But yeah, I think it's definitely going higher and potentially to $9 a share. So rather than buying more shares, I might buy just a cover, or not a cover call. I might buy a call and see how that plays out. That's in and out. And then I got my shares to hold. I think it's a better way to trade. I need to get better at it. But yeah, I'm going to throw this up to mark the end. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you did enjoy the stream, make sure you like it. Always share your thoughts, whether in the live chat or in the comments. Happy to find out what you guys are suggesting. And also do join the Discord if you like. It's free. I do chime in a little bit there, but it's really just a bunch of people sharing ideas about trades. And they've shared a lot of really good ideas, seen a lot of nice movers from the tickers that have been requested. And so, yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to put out AMC video, GameStop video, maybe a NIO video, and I'll put timestamps on this at some point. Enjoy the weekend. I will be enjoying mine, and I'll try to get out some more videos to start June strong. But yeah,